Okay, we're ready for a funeral.
Everyone I love is still alive. I think I really loved my grandfather when I was 3 years old, and I led the Our Father as we turned life support off. I know I loved Kevin when I dated him, but it had been years since I'd seen him, and he was cremated by the time I saw him again. Carla Lynn hurt a lot because I had wanted to reconnect, but we hadn't spoken in years. I chose not to go to Nana Pat's funeral because I didn't have childcare or one of my kids was sick, and I much prefer how I remember her. But I still really miss June. She was really nice. My stepdad was the only time I really had to step up to the plate to help plan a funeral, and there were so many emotions with that. The only father figure I knew passing away. The bullshit comments that I got from the way I dressed at the actual funeral. The people coming up to my grandmother asking if there were watches that he had left for his family. The fact that we were completely estranged at this point. And the shit he put my mother through. I go to funerals for friends and family. And I like to remind my husband all the time that this is the best time of our life. This season of life. The grandparents to our children are still alive. My grandmother is still alive. His grandmother is still alive. Our parents are still alive. Every once in a while I think about my dad and I check the obit section just to see if they would tell me that he died. But it doesn't really matter. I'm telling you this because I don't actually know anything about funerals, despite having spent one semester in mortuary science. I don't know real etiquette for funerals, so I wear the same dress every time. I felt embarrassed that my hair was colorful because I feel like in mourning we should be wearing all black. I felt like it would be too much if I put a veil on. I don't like that my tattoos are showing. I took off the bright red lipstick I was wearing earlier today. Neutral colors are best. I don't know how to fix my hair, and all I keep thinking about is my friend, and how I get to be there for her and her family on what is one of the worst days of their lives. The hours for the wake are from 4 to 8, so naturally I'm putting myself together at 4:15. This morning I watched a video about bereavement that helped explain to my daughter what it was that I was doing and why I was going. My heart breaks for my friend's son, who is seeing what death is firsthand by the loss of his grandfather. And as much as I want to bring my kids with me, I know that they're not mentally or emotionally prepared for it. As I watched the bereavement video that helped explain to my daughter what was going on, she quietly cried to herself as she lay next to me and crumpled slightly toward me. I asked her if she still wanted to go to the funeral. She had tried to work on a card today but couldn't figure out what to say. She decided she didn't want to go, and she sent her regards. I asked my son, who's friends with the little boy, if he'd like to join me at the funeral, even though I know that it would potentially scar him. He's incredibly sensitive to everything, and I didn't think he would do well with an open casket. He said pass, but he's not seen the bereavement video yet. And I'm waiting a little bit longer before I show him because I know he's going to sob. When he was little, he went to my stepdad's funeral, but he was too little to understand what was going on. I don't know where my daughter was, but she wasn't present. I still grieve the fact that I didn't go to my Aunt Ellie's funeral in Texas because it was at the height of COVID. And I still get really mad when people talk shit about COVID and how COVID wasn't the thing that killed her, even though it was the reason why she was in the hospital. Even though she would have been fine had she not gotten COVID. I don't really know Wella. Not the way everybody else did. I grieved the way everybody else did. Still really sad for the big giant loss that she was for everyone in the family because it still felt to this day. I really didn't know Katya, but I'm still really sad for my aunt and my cousin because that was a huge loss, a very painful one. The last funeral I went to was for my friend Laura's mom. I watched the eulogy from the back, and nobody in the family knew me, but I felt like I should go there for Laura. I didn't really know Gabby, but she used to wave to my son in the hall. Every October 8th, I still think of her, even though I don't reach out to her parents anymore. I was very pregnant and very sick during that loss, and I still grieve that one pretty heavy, especially because I think my daughter would have really liked her. So while I've known people who've passed away, it's never been very close, which means I'm mostly not prepared. Which means I might still wear patent leather shoes to a funeral. And I literally had to look up what good funeral etiquette was before I got ready today. My only goal for most funerals is to be supportive, to check in with the family members of the person who lost someone and help them with whatever they need. Sometimes it's being an ear on the other side of a phone, and sometimes it's getting our nails done at a nail salon. Sometimes it's bringing a meal over, and sometimes it's a little bit of dark humor with comic relief.
Nice outfit.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Just want to look nice for a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Great. There's a quote by Maya Angelou that I basically live by, and it says, "People will forget what you said, and they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel." That's why I keep showing up for people. Okay. This is the worst makeup I've ever used in my life. Okay. I think this is good. I don't remember a lot of my friends showing up to my stepdad's funeral, even though they helped in the background. But I do remember Pastor Luke showing up. And that feeling of support is what I want to offer people I love.